I could talk for hours and hours on children, but if I have to talk on women, it's quite daunting, you know. But still, I thought I should sort of give you a kind of a glimpse on how I look at the issue of women and women's participation in public life. I may not necessarily do the legal rights. You might have to find some other resource person for that, But then I will certainly talk to you about how I am here, how all of you are here, and how we came to this pass, and what kind of struggles have gone through for us to be sitting in this room and in this hall today. It wasn't easy. Many of us must be taking what we have achieved for granted, and I can remember one particular person whom I owe to where I am, and I thought I will talk to you about that particular person. She is my grandfather's sister, my father's sister. Not many of us even knew she existed till she was 80-year-old. She was wiped and erased out of our family memory and family history. When she was 12-year-old, she became a widow. And that girl exercised agency, decided that she will not have her head shaved, and walked out of the house to join the Christian missionary. The family boycotted her. So much so that the family did not even tell us that we had one aunt who was there, who was 12-year-old, who did this. And my grandfather, who was a feminist himself, he was himself some 13-year-old. He could not stop this. And he nursed this guilt all his life that he could not stop his sister and that they abandoned her. He discovered her when she was 80 and brought her back home. What was significant was when she got back home, her elder sister, who was 82, still refused to talk to her. She told that, look, you caused a lot of shame, misery for my family. Amma died because of you. I cannot forgive you. I will not talk to you. I am sure there are such people in each one of our families. And they braved it. They created the path. They removed everything to make us what we are. And I would like you to remember those women who exercised agency. And there are so many other women who are doing so. And I must mention this to you because when I worked in the MV Foundation, it is this story of my grand aunt that gave me strength to encourage hundreds and thousands of girls to walk out of their marriage. One morning while I was in Shankarpalli, Indira came to me and she told me that they are getting me married off. I don't want to get married, give me help. Now I told her, look, I can encourage boys to run away from home, but I can't encourage girls to run away from home, get back home. She said 7 times I stopped from getting married. I fought my own battle alone. This is the 8th time. I can't fight. You must. I said, look, I cannot. I don't want to get the blame of saying I'm asking girls to run away from home. I will not do it. Then she said, close down MV Foundation. So this is a very strange law that you have a Child Marriage Act that says you cannot get married till you're 18 if you're a girl, till 21 if you're a boy, but then it will say that if you have got married, sorry, I can do nothing, better be with your marriage. There is something very limited about this law, and it is governed by the same perspective that governed my thinking when I was trying to say no to Indira. What it was governed by is said that what would happen to this girl if she walked out of her house, and if she walked, her in-laws were also not there, she doesn't have a safe space. Where will she go? So we cannot, since we cannot take care of her, let her be subject to abuse, let her be subject to violence, but at least she will have the dignity of being a daughter-in-law in a mother-in-law's house, because once they have spent so much money, she can't go back to her mother's house. So the law has been so faulty on child marriage. In a way, it says that the state does not want to take responsibility for the girl does not want to provide shelter, does not want to take on the role of either the mother or the mother-in-law's house, does not want to provide her with education, does want to just say that, look, since we can't take care of you, our law can't be there to protect you. So that law continues till day, and nobody has dared question this law. Even Supreme Court judgments after judgments, High Court judgments after judgment have not found that there's something wrong with this law, that child marriage therefore continues to be perpetuated and continues to exist. But to come back to the story, I think what this showed, again, Indira, is what my grand aunt showed. Finally, it seems that unless you exercise agency, unless you show that you are autonomy and you have the courage, it seems that women cannot really get out of the kind of situation that they are in.